The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Hello.
Welcome to one more show of the Table Topics. And this is the last show for the month of August, the year 2020.
Oh boy. Wow. Already September next week.
It is September next week.
That's it.
And so how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing okay. And just can't wait for this 2020 to be over. And so I hope 2021 brings us better days.
I hope so. I'm optimistic a lot of days, and then I'm pessimistic the next day. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Because things change daily now. So I have to say though. I was watching because I watched the Democratic, convention, and watching the Republican. And there was a man on there yesterday. He was from Cuba, and he gave a fantastic speech. He talked about how his parents came here from, they were originally from Spain, and his parents went here because of what was going on there. And he said, this is the best country in the world. And he said, he's seen what's going on right now happen in his country. He saw this happening. And he said, if something happens to this country, there's nowhere to go. And quite frankly, that's true. America's the beacon all around the world still. It's still the beacon around the world. And if we turn into some of these other countries, then where do you go? And I always tease you. Americans really can't go anywhere, right? Where would they be able to go? So.
Well, and one thing that we always agreed with is that we accept everybody here, but we don't want to live like they live on their countries.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes I go even over my Portuguese nationality with the feasts that we do here and everything, and a lot of these countries, people come here because they don't want to live the way they live there.
Yeah.
But when they get here, they want to change things so they can take advantage or leave or have some stuff they have on their countries. Yeah. Well, if I want to see a nice bullfight with no, I go to Cesar. They're very good with that now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's every country has the different things, and that's why we travel, because they have stuff there that we don't have here. So we go to their countries to check it out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if you've been following the those episodes of the 90 Days Fiancés and stuff like that. That's a perfect example. People from America that get married in 90 days from people all over the world, and they go there. That's when they see the difference. If you go there, you have to become a person from that country. You have to follow everything from that country. So guess what? Right now, it's a lady that got married to one of those countries that the husband, it's divorce. You cannot talk back to the husband. You have to follow everything that the husband said. And now she's there and she's all upset. And she said, I'm not going to do anything. I'm an American. Oh, lady, you there. You now no more an American. You know, you there. You're an American. Right? Exactly. You're an American here. Here you have a voice as a woman. Yeah. It's no different from your husband. But you travel to a country. You got married to a person that has a different, you know,
different culture. Yeah.
So now why are you complaining? You're not American no more. You know, you want to speak out without being killed? You need to get your behind back in America again.
What country was it, out of curiosity? Do you remember?
Liberia, I think. Some countries over there that the ladies had to cover their heads. They have to ask the permission to the mother. If the mother didn't, the man didn't give permission, then he cannot get married. You know, it's crazy stuff.
Libya,
but that's just Malaysia,
Libya?
Maybe.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know. I mean, I just go through the channels, and my wife likes to watch that, and sometimes I can hear them. And this one really, she's so upset and she's screaming, "I'm an American!" And I'm turning to my wife. I said, "Not there, not there. She's not an American."
Exactly.
But that's just to give an example. That's just to give an example. Countries that people can. Men can get married to 10-year-olds, you know, and they're trying to do that here. Man, that's not going to happen. You know, you're going to end up dead. You're going to end up dead somewhere because that's not going to happen here. Nobody's going to let you do that. So that's just to give you an example. How America is so different and everybody wants to come here, but now when they're here, they want to turn America to their countries. It's not going to happen. It will never happen.
I hope not. You know, I hope not. But like I said, it was very. I can't think of the right word, but listening to him saying that this is the beacon for the world, and if something happens here, where would I go? And it's true. Where would anybody go that's here? Where would you go? You know, because if it happens here, it's going to happen in all those other places, just like it happens here. You know. So it was a little, it was eye-opening, to say the least. And I think he was probably the best speaker there was there. And it was just really good. If you can see him on YouTube, it's worth, he was on for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's really worth listening to. It's not even really a political speech. He's just telling you how it was to live in his country, that people got on rafts and were on boards and came through the water, you know, with kids that couldn't swim sometimes, and they risked their lives to get here for this dream. And, you know, this country's being torn apart right now. It really is, you know. So, you know, sad. Somebody like you, Carlos, I kind of envy, you know what I mean, to a point, because it's, you know, here in America, you know, if you come here, you always have a place that you can go to. But when it's like if you were in Portugal, you know what I mean? I know you're an American and stuff, and this is your place, but when your family has been here for a while, you know what I mean? Yeah, Portugal's nice. I loved it. I know family was there at one time, but all my family has been here since 100 years or more. I have some family that got here in 1630 that I traced down. So, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's just different when I see that. When you go to other countries and they're fighting and they're like, why didn't they leave? Well, that's all they know. And nobody will take people unless you sit in a refugee camp somewhere. You know what I mean? It's but we'll see. I'm trying to be optimistic with some of this going on. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think we are going through tough times. This virus didn't help. You know, didn't help. And now we are going through this police, you know, thing. It's, I don't know where this came from now, that, you know, people hate police. they are for something. They are to protect.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to encounter one that it's not the great, but guess what? That's one. And if he commits a crime, he's going to pay for the crime like everybody else. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that all the others are bad. Now, I just watched this morning another cops again that shoot the guy, and two things that came up to my mind is number one, I watch it. They didn't put the hands on him. They grab his shirt. Right there, I see a problem. And why they didn't put the hands on him. Yeah. That's number one. To try to stop him.
Well,
because if it was before, you will be on the ground.
Yeah, but everybody's at such a heightened thing, Carlos, now that, you know what I mean, they don't want to be accused of roughing somebody up. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So what happens is they didn't did the job to arrest him or to stop him. Because if this was before, they will instead of shooting him, they will stop. They will put they will put him on the ground and sit on top of him so he could stop. Okay, but because they're not allowed to touch him now, they grabbed his shirt. Okay, and his shirt, it's ripping all apart because that's not enough to stop him. Okay, and my second thing is what he's doing running.
Yeah.
What he's doing running? What that he's going to do inside that car? He has 2 kids inside the car, 3 kids inside the car. If the police didn't act, he will run away with the car, putting dangerous 3 kids on the back seat now.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the other side that people need to understand. The police needs to do the job.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think what a lot of people don't realize is that when police show up at a traffic stop, or that was a domestic call. So somebody in that area called the police. Okay. And in that area, somebody called the police. So when the police know your name and your date of birth and all that stuff they can pull your record up.
Yes.
So if they pull your record up, and I believe I read this individual had pulled a gun on someone in a bar. And the bar owner told him to get out, and he pulled the gun again when he was leaving. So they see all this stuff come up on the record. So it's not as if they pull somebody up and there's nothing on their record. There's nothing there. They're going to be, I think, a lot less cautious. Whereas when they pull something up and they see that there have been prior crimes or convictions, of course, that's common sense that someone's going to be more cautious and they're going to be more apt to do things. So that's even more the reason why, you know what I mean, you just need to do what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean?
And on top of that, he's not obeying the police.
No, I agree.
If the police saying stop, you just stop. You don't have nothing to hide. You stop in the front of the car. The police is going to ask you what they have to ask you. Okay? They're probably going to give you more credit because you have kids on the car.
Yeah.
Okay? So, you know what I'm saying? It's every situation, it's different. And when it involves kids, I think the police will take a lot of consideration for that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but it was no need. It was no need for that. Okay. It was no need for that. But on the other side, I need to see the cop. I need to see the cops' sides too.
Yeah.
Because right now, if, like I said, if they could put the hands on him and secure him before he even get inside the car, will be a different case.
Yeah.
They avoid put their hands on him, okay, to stop him.
Yeah.
They grab his shirt. I just saw 3 or 4 seconds from the video.
Yeah.
And right there, what I saw, I said, what they want the cops to do on this situation. He's not stopping. They're afraid to hold them to hold them down with their hands. Okay, they're grabbing this shirt. The shirt is falling apart. Right now, he's already sitting on his car. Okay, the next thing is shut the door and run with the car. putting the lives of the kids in danger.
Or I think,
or grabbing a gun and shooting back the cops.
Well, that's what I think they were leery of, because he had a gun before. Whether it was legal or not, I don't know. Even if it was legal, if you pull a gun on someone, that makes people, a little bit more cautious, So unfortunately, like you said, there's good and bad in every profession. The problem is right now, unfortunately, the police are in a no-win situation right now. And I don't know how we're going to get out of this, to be honest with you, because there's always going to be an incident.
And once again, another problem that turned into politics.
Yeah.
Politics got involved with and screwing everything up.
Yeah.
Okay, because this has nothing to do with you being Democrat or being Republican.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do. So why now the Republicans saying, well, there he goes, it's the Democrats, and the Democrats say, hey, there he goes, it's the Republicans.
Well, you know what, Carlos, I'm going to say this because I did see this other speech. There was a couple in St. Louis, Missouri, that had this big house there, and they were in like a gated kind of area, and protesters went in, they broke the gate, and they were going past the house. You've probably seen this video. The guy
I saw the video, and they're going to be speaking at the the convention.
They spoke yesterday.
They did. I didn't watch anything, so I had no idea.
They spoke yesterday. I did see it. They gave a fairly good speech. They were both lawyers. They had supported different groups in the past, but they said, you know what? Why am I being charged? None of those people that broke in through that private area were charged. They had threatened, and this was not on the news, but they showed the video of what really happened. They were like, we're going to kill you. We're going to go in there and kill your dog. We're going to go in there and rape your wife. All these things they're saying. What if you got 200 or 300 people that are walking by your house talking like that, what do you think? They're coming over to play Parcheesi? You know what I mean? Are they going to try to come in your house to do that? So, but that was. But not the thing is,
John,
that was not on the media.
But this is. I don't think this is a Republican problem.
Well, Carlos,
or a Democrat problem.
Oh, Carlos, it in this instance, it was a Democratic problem because the prosecutor in Missouri is a Democrat. So it is a Democratic problem in that instance. She's trying to make them seem like the villains, and the people that were running against their property there, threatening them and yelling at them, saying that they're not at fault. They broke into a private area. They were trespassing. Why are you going after someone that's on their own property with a weapon? They call them peaceful protesters. You know what I mean? So in that instance, it happens to be that it was, to me, a Democratic problem because that DA was prosecuting them. Why? Why was she prosecuting them? Because it was politics. So in that instance, it was. There are times I agree with you, Carlos, but there are right now, if you look, these cities are being run, right? They're being run by Democratic people, a lot of them. And they're not keeping their cities in control. That's out in Oregon. That's out in California. That's out in Illinois. Look at the governor. Look at the mayor of Chicago, Illinois, has 5 police officers guarding her home because she's afraid. But she wants to defund the police. But she wants to be protected by the police. She can't have it both ways. You know?
But she's Democrat.
Yes, exactly.
She's Democrat.
Yes.
And she has 5 cops because she's afraid of Republicans.
No, she's afraid of protesters coming to her house.
If they're on her side, what they going to protest or do something to her?
Well, because people aren't really happy right now, I think, with her, with all the crime there. There was a lady that was there with 5 other people that were arrested the other day. And I don't really know if they were Republican. They were religious people. But yeah, the hypocrisy in saying that everything's safe right now in your city, but you require a 5-member team of police officers to cover your property. It's just the whole hypocrisy of this. Why aren't you straightening out what's happening in your city? You know there's a problem if you have 5 people guarding your property. So in some aspect, it is.
And here in Fall River, we had couple of problems of Trump supporters getting attacked and stuff. Thank God it's not in big numbers like in other countries, in other cities. But we had a few, and in our city, it's pretty much, I will say, calm. And, you know, we don't have many issues with police or police taking advantage of the uniforms. I see this year more Trump flags in houses that I saw 4 years ago, which to me tells me that they have more trust in putting and to come out for Trump this time that they did last time. Good for them. You know, I mean, that's what this country is. It's, you know, it's your opinion, my opinion. And guess what? We have different opinions. We don't like the same food. We don't like the same beer. But guess what? That doesn't mean that we cannot sit on the same table and have different beers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I agree. But you know what, Carlos, let me just throw this out at you. So the man that was assaulted by a 23-year-old, or whatever he was holding a Trump sign, and then he got reassaulted by a young lady. Okay, twice he was assaulted, this man. Now, if this was a older person like him, 80, that was holding a sign for Biden, don't you think every network would have covered that? Would every network, no. CNN, MSNBC, they would all covered it. However, because this guy was holding a Republican sign, I didn't see this on any of the networks anywhere. You saw it on the local news here, but you didn't see it on the national networks like CNN, MSNBC. I didn't even see it on Fox. So
I don't even know if we could make it all the way up there. But
no, but what I'm trying to say is, can you imagine if some older man was holding a Biden sign and a Republican or a Trump supporter assaulted an 80-year-old man? What do you think the media coverage would be like?
Well, you know, I agreed with you, just like I agreed that the young kid that got killed was never nowhere. Nobody cared about. We have about 10 minutes. Let's talk about the budget.
Yeah, you know,
did you watch the meeting?
No, but I didn't really see. I watched a few minutes of it, but I did hear on the radio today that the mayor is looking at bringing a trash fee back into play. Yeah, interesting, huh? We don't want to tackle the.
It is interesting. It is interesting. And one thing that I put on Facebook that I call a couple of city councils is they want to, again, because we never went nowhere with the transfer station. Now, Linda bought this idea, which I don't think it's a bad idea. I just think that before we didn't have $6 or $7 million to do a transfer station. But now this idea that's going to resolve the problem is going to cost us $25 million. Yeah. So my thing is, and if we're going to invest $25 million in an idea that next administration don't agree with and goes in the different directions. Yeah. Why I'm saying that? I'm saying that because we bought new trucks because the administration want to go in one direction and say it's safer. We don't have people riding on trucks so they don't get hurt. So it's less for insurance. We're gonna bond for these trucks. We bond $6 or $7 million for brand new trucks. Okay, 2 years after, a new administration went in a different directions. Yeah. So what would happen was we sold the same trucks with 2 years old of use for $1.1 million. For $1 million. We taxpayers are paying $6 or $7 million for 30 years for trucks that we don't even have anymore.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So now we're going to invest another. I'm very afraid because the city of Fall River can change mayors every year. And can have 2 mayors in 1 year. If every mayor wants to go in a different direction, we're going to be like ping pong balls in here, just bumping all over the place, just making bills that we're not going to take advantage of, and we're going to have to be paying.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand why we would need to change what we want to get out of the contract with Easy Disposal. Is that what they want to do?
I guess the price keeps going up. We knew that. We all knew that. Yeah. The price gonna keep going up. Doesn't matter who's picking up the trash.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, you know, the trash fee, hey, whatever it is, it is. However, the trash fee, I know people that have like 2 or 3 family houses, even them living in them. You know, if you put it in like they did before, that's like $300 or $400 extra a year. You know, and last year taxes went up, like I was telling you, $800 1 year, you know, and if you're going to add another $400 fee on top of people, if it's a multi, even if it's a single, that's still $110 or whatever. It's probably not going to be $110 because that was what, 5 years ago. It'll probably be $150 or $200. Yeah, it's just yeah.
So another thing too is they were supposed to have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday meetings to talk about the budget.
Yeah.
They send the budget back. So that means that they will have one night to discuss the budget. One night to discuss the budget. So who wants to bet with me that this gonna pass with one night discussions on?
Oh, I'm sure.
So that's why we never win, because it's not enough time to talk about the stuff, okay? Yep. So they can get informed, and it's going to pass. Whatever it is, it's going to pass, and the taxpayer is going to have to end up paying for it. So that's what it is. Another thing is taking $3.5 million from our free cash money to give to the schools.
Yeah.
You know, to give to the schools. So my opinion, and I told you a couple of times, was no way that we could go in 2 years from $500,000 in free cash to $7 or $8 million in free cash. Yeah. That money was taken from somewhere, and that money needs to go back again because that money don't belong in free cash.
Yeah. Well, I think what we got to kind of remember, though, is that just 6 months ago, or actually just 8 months ago, the economy was really roaring. So you figure we've lost all the parking fees. People really aren't buying cars anymore. So the excise tax has probably lowered down. They're not getting meals tax from restaurants and stuff like that they used to. Everything was pretty much shut down. So that created a problem right there. Just that in that case.
Even worse, we're not getting the millions of dollars from the marijuana stores.
Yeah, which
we were all counting with that money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I know. I hear you. I mean, we're going to be in that kind of boat for sure. So it's going to be a tough couple of years. Unless something really straightens out. I don't really foresee it getting better in the next year or two. I think we're just in the beginnings of this, you know, at least the economic portion of it. So time will tell.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap up our show.
Sounds good.
And John, again, son, I see you in a week, next week. So make sure you keep watching those conventions, because I'm not. So
yeah.
With that said, thank you, John, and see you next week.
All right. Thank you.